I know why you are calling. You think I have changed my mind? Well, I have not. I know how important this task is to you. I will do it. Oh yes, I will. For old time's sakes. I'll be leaving for Ireland tomorrow. And I'll be back in 2 weeks' time. We will pick it up from there. You're welcome. Later.
Elders of Omobolo Kingdom, I want to present this matter unambiguously so that nobody will say he didn't understand my presentation. I want that land back, and I am going to get it.
Your Highness, with all due respect, I and every single elder here will advise you to forget that land. Let it go.
Yes, of course. Why would you say a thing like that? I am surprised at all of you. You want me, Eze Babuchi Okeke II of Omobolo, to forget a land that originally belonged to my people and is said to contain a huge deposit of precious stones in the hands of that cultist, that murderer that parades himself as the king of Idu. It's not going to happen. Amamme.
Your Highness, that man you referred to as a cultist exhibited some weird powers before your father. And to save our lives, we transferred ownership to him.
Your Highness, you just came back from Ireland to assume position as a king. We are prepared to support you as our king. One thing you will do for us is to forget that king. He is evil. We would not want to have anything to do with him again.
I don't want it to look as if I'm being obstinate here. No, I'm not stubborn. I'm that same Babuchi who believes in justice. That man used weird powers to coerce you and my father into signing up that land to him. He didn't pay a dime. I want it back, and I must get it.
Elders in council do not always like to go back on what they had crossed.
Yes. Going after that land is like going after the deadliest king in this part of the world. Yes. Of course. Without the land and everything in it, you will still be our king. And our kingdom will still be great.
Of course I will still be your king. A very foolish king at that. A king who sits in the comfort of his palace while some people pillage his land. A land that belonged to his people. And he does nothing about it. Listen to me. Ekpokote Kwano must forfeit that land, or he pays me in monetary terms the exact worth of that land.
Your Highness, do you know what Ibubo means in Igbo land? You dare not say no to a man who has Ibubo. You dare not lock arms or disagree with a man who has Ibubo unless you are mentally inclined to commit suicide. You do not go to war with a man that has Ibubo, for the ill luck that will come your way will defy logical judgment. Ibubo, as we all know, is an ancient, intimidating aura that accompanies great men, gods, goddesses, and potentates. And Eze Ekpokota Ekwono himself is that deity that has Ibubo. People do not argue with such person.
Ekpokota Ekwono was able to deal with my father, because as a man who followed the new religion, he abandoned our traditional religion. But I, Babuchi, am no fool. And since I ascended the throne of my forefathers, I have been associating with Ogbuefi Amandianeze, the one and only traditional priest of Omobolo Kingdom. I must tell you, he has been a tremendous guide to me. My father never listened to him, but I have decided to change things. I believe he can be of help.
Your Highness, Ekpokote Ekwono has all it takes.
He has nothing. Absolutely nothing. The deity you all believe he has is not actually a deity. It's a useless charm. A charm he prepared himself. He used his wife on that charm because the woman told him to stop delving deeper into demonic operations. And as we speak, he's trying to get a deaf and dumb woman as a wife. A woman who will not disturb him.
And where did you get all this?
Eze Bokote Kwano is going to crash. It's an assurance. I want all of you to come together. Let us reconnect with our chief priest. Our forefathers left certain powers for us to consolidate on. We have to come together and reconnect with our chief priest and seek the face of our chief.
Your Highness, so you actually came back from Ireland to take us back to paganism.
Let us not be deceived, please. There is nothing like paganism in the practice of our ancient religion. Everything has fallen apart simply because we abandoned the tenets of this religion for something we do not know. Let us retrace our steps so that we can finally have an edge over Ibukote Kwano and his ilk. He might claim to be the Alusi Nwelibobo of Fidu, but I will tell him that I am Ofuaka Lotamano Zuorono of Omobolo.
I don't like this. I do not like this at all.
And what do you expect me to do? Go back on my words?
Babuji, you have money. You have enough money to buy any comfort we need. Therefore, I think you do not need this land for crying out loud.
Chiamaka, I am surprised this is coming from you. Why would you say a thing like that? I need the land. It is our legacy. A legacy bequeathed to us by our forefathers. The land belongs to us. It was unjustly taken from my people by a man who used evil powers to scare them away. And I am out to get it back. I will perforate him.
You are squaring up against an evil man who killed his own wife.
And you think he can kill us too? Chiamaka, give me some credit. I am the mafia king of Omobolo. I will play this game with him and put him where he belongs.
Sweetheart, what are you going to do? I ask, what are you going to do against a man who has a deadly deity in his own palace? I gathered that even law enforcement agents are scared of this man, so...
Chiamaka, I think the time has come for me to demystify that man. What that froster has is just a charm. And in the epistemology of ancestral worship, charm is unknown. I will get it back and nobody will die.
What's the guarantee?
Truth is the guarantee. That man is a personification of evil. He's evil in human form. We are justly fighting for our rights. And I tell you something, Chiamaka. Evil can never triumph over good.
What is it?
When things like this begin to happen, I regret my father's early demise. If he were to be alive, all this won't be happening. This demon, this devil's descendant, Eze Kwekete Kwano, wouldn't have taken the land that belongs to my family. Mother, I wanted to build a shopping complex on that land. Now that it's been taken away from us, what will I do?
Son, you have to cheer up. Okay? A man who lives stands to get another land. Okay, do not kill yourself because of this land. Okay? Cheer up.
Mother, I am hurt. It is so painful that a man like me would take what rightfully belongs to me and I would do nothing. A man who forced himself on the people to be king. It's so painful that I I am helpless and hopeless.
My son, nobody has ever challenged him. Those who did never lived to tell the story. Interpret it to mean that he has taken away all our sorrows. It's only God that knows why he allowed this.
Mother, why will God allow the mighty to trample on the minor? A man who has no son, why is he bent on taking all the lands he sets his eyes on? Why? What does he want to do with all the land? What?
Don't worry, son. You see, he takes all the lands on sight. When he dies, he will be buried in one of those lands. Nothing lasts forever, son. See, he killed others to take their lands. But he only took our own land. Cheer up. Tomorrow is better and brighter. Okay? Just cheer up, son. It's okay.
So are we just going to keep quiet? Our sister died mysteriously in that man's house. We know it and everyone knows it. And we are going to sit here and do nothing about it?
Amaka, you know who we are talking about here. How do you want us to confront him?
He's a human being. He was married to our sister. We are his in-laws. We deserve an answer from him. The king of Idu has to tell us what happened to our sister.
You want to fight him? You want to arrest him? How exactly do you intend getting Ekpukote Ekwono to do that?
So, are we going to keep quiet about it? Do you know how I feel every day I walk down the road? People are staring at me. It's obvious. It's obvious to them that my sister died mysteriously in that man's hand and we have done nothing about it rather than to bury and mourn her. It's been 1 year. We have to do something about it.
And we will, but not now.
When, Uzokwe? It's been 1 year. Our sister's dead body was brought home to us. And we have done nothing about it rather than to mourn her. I have been calm enough. We have to do something about it.
So, you want to go after the king?
I am saying I want to question him. Because we deserve an explanation for that.
Amaka, you keep forgetting who we are talking about here. If you go after Ekpukote Ekwono without enough ammunition, you will get burnt.
He has screwed me. He married and killed my sister. What else can he do to me?
You. You keep forgetting she was equally my sister. I got burnt too. But then, only a fool can get into battle unprepared. Especially when you're fighting with someone like Ekpukote Ekwono.
Are you saying you go to the king and ask him to explain to you what happened to your sister?
Are you equally saying I can't ask him for that explanation?
What if he cuts off your tongue?
What are you saying? He will cut off my tongue because I asked for an explanation?
You will die, leaving your husband, your children behind. The man you are talking of is a criminal that even the government and law enforcement agencies cannot do him anything. He is so arrogant that he can do anything, anytime, any day without considering the consequences.
He killed my sister and he has to answer for it.
And what makes you feel you will not wipe out the whole of your family for disobeying him?
Is that what we have become? A conquered people that keep quiet in the face of atrocity, even murdered.
I do not say it's going to last forever. All I know, every day for the thief, but 1 day for the owner. Nothing lasts forever. The day of that king will come and he will pay.
At the stars at law, I am going to go straight to the point. I am going to possess, and I am going to possess fully.
Your Highness, making a full purchase is not a good business approach. It is always better to invest where the risk is shared.
I am very much interested in understanding what you mean by that.
Why don't you make yourself a major investor in the business instead of buying outright?
And by making myself a major investor in the business, the original owner will still be part of the business and possibly still the CEO?
Yes.
And then he or she may still have an edge over me, right?
Does it really matter, Your Highness? The most important thing is you will be making a whole lot of profit from the investment.
With all due respect, Madam Lawyer, that is not acceptable. Okay?
Your Highness, if I may say...
Barrister at law, before you add anything, you need to understand what is happening here. I am that all-conquering king. The very definition of man alone. Nobody stays under the same roof with me and makes more money than I do. You told me already that the business we are talking about is a stock feeder. Automatically, I understand that to mean that it's the vital business in this part of the world. I want to have it. And I want to have it faster than immediately.
Your Highness, I know that there is never anything you wanted to acquire in life that you failed.
I'm happy you know that. Now, if you understand me to be that man who has never failed in anything, I want you to make more effort. I want to have that business. You are my lawyers that I pay so much. Call it work. Get it done.
With due respect, Your Highness, in this case, it will be very difficult because the family that are...
The family is nothing. Forget about that family. They are nothing. You need to take that proposal that we prepared. Take it back to them. Let them study the proposal one more time. Possibly this time around, they will see the reason to bend. Because that business that I want to buy, I am going to buy it.
Okay, Your Highness. We will do just that.
Thank you. What is the next agenda?
Yes, Your Highness, the competitor we spoke about.
I don't want to talk about the competitors. Why should I sit down here talking about some fools that already constitute themselves into competitors to me? I am going to wipe them out of the face of the earth.
What did you just say?
Why are you jittering as if you're getting to know me for the very first time? They want to put me out of business. I was even lenient enough to have made them an offer, which they rejected. Now they have just two options to choose from. It is either they will sell the business to me and leave, or they will refuse to sell, and all of them will die in their sleep, and I will still have that business.
I humble myself before the great deity, sitting as a king of Idu.
Has any visitor come to see me in the palace?
Yes, Your Majesty. A letter with a royal seal arrived, Your Majesty.
Letter from Ezi Babuchingo Keke of Umobolo Kingdom. It's very obvious that he has decided to come and pay homage to the deity king of Idu. And this will send a very strong signal to other kings. Alusingweli Bobo. Ade Sienga. Emily. Am I done with you already?
Your Highness.
What are you still doing?
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
This is indeed very nice. And other kings will learn from this.
They must come one by one to pay homage to the deity king of Idu.
All of you acted in ignorance. You acted in ignorance. You deviated from the ways of our gods, the ways of our ancestors. You ran after a religion you know nothing about, a religion you do not know where it's coming from, a religion you do not know where it is going. You only know the few, the very few you were told. Nakamulanza na amarokwa nuni ganga ulana ajurokwa noyi. Waja kunyanjika nchitana njana rirokwa nenu. Anyina bada fu mwana fu aluzo kwa ike. Bentane emeke na meyo aburukwa na agwa. Agwa na atukwa numbe na tuombe hoji onu ya. By this consecration with Ugezu and prayer, you will be connected back with the gods of Umob. Nakamwana na amarokwa ni ganga ulana ajuro yi. Oja kunya jikandichana njana arokwa nenu. Akamulanza na amarokwa nuni ganga ulana ajuro kwa nani. Oja kunya jikandichana njana arokwa nenu. Akamulanza na amarokwa nuni ganga ulana ajuro yi. Oja kunya jikandichana njana arokwa nenu. Akamulanza na amarokwa nuni ganga ulana ajuro yi. Oja kunya jikandichana njana arokwa nenu. Go home and offer whatever you can to your personality. Fowl, goat, ram, cow, whatsoever you can afford, offer it to your personality and pray especially to your chi. I will always go before you. Let your chi be by your right, by your left, before you and behind you. I see an oath, an unjust oath. What is that oath? I ask a question, elders in council, and you are moping at me. I can see an evil oath staring at me. What is that oath? It is that oath that makes you not behave like men.
And why am I having this impression that elders in council who vowed to guide me on this path are actually hiding something from me?
We are not hiding anything from you, Your Highness. He warned us never to mention this to anyone.
Who? My father?
Not your father. It was Eze Epokotai Ekwono of Idu. We believe he was the one who killed your father after we signed the land off to him.
You can't be serious. Tell me about it. I'm interested.
Your Highness, we still don't understand how he did it. He summoned all of us into an occult room and exposed us to a decorated box inside another bigger box.
The decorated box of dreaded masquerades?
How did you know, Your Highness? A box decorated with images of dreadful masquerades. A box that wielded enormous power. As we are all being suffocated, your father pleaded with him to spare our lives, which he did, but on one condition.
That you sign off the land to him?
Exactly. And he presented the paper there in the room, and we signed off the land to him.
And he warned us never to tell anybody about that meeting. It was after that evil encounter that your father died. And ever since then, we've decided to leave the evil king alone and mind our business.
Yes, of course. Now you see. Now you see that my quest for vengeance is justified. I must go after Ebokote One, and I must get him. I won't spare him.
May all rise. May all rise. As I raise this ancient and sacred offer, the staff of Umobolo, I hereby uproot all the effects of that oath. Men who were transported by evil means into an occult room and forced to take an oath can never be bound by that oath. Men who were transported by evil means into an occult room and were forced to take an oath can never be bound by that oath. Men who were transported by evil means into an occult room and were forced to take an oath can never be bound by that oath. Men who were transported by evil means into an occult room and were forced to take an oath can never be bound by that oath.
What is going on? What is this escape that I feel? What is this fire? What is this fire that is raging from afar? Who? Who is this enemy of his own soul that will ignite fire against Eze Bukote Kwonu, the deity king of Idu? Who? Do you know the implication of what you're asking me to do? I have confirmed that that murderer killed my father, and you're asking me to allow sleeping dogs lie?
Why are you so determined to die before your time? Your father died at the age of 73.
I think it is necessary to educate you properly. My father did not die a natural death. He was killed.
Okay, he was killed. But at least before he was killed, your father was a well-known, powerful man of this land. Yet, this evil man was able to summon him to his palace, forced him to sign some papers, killed him after then. Did you not think that this man will also kill you, just the way he killed your father?
Listen to me, my beautiful wife. I don't want to discuss this issue with you again. Allow me fight my battles and wage my wars. The man who killed my father has murdered sleep. I don't want to begin to see you as an enemy.
My goodness. Can someone help me explain to him? I don't want to lose my husband.
I don't know what it is, but I want it to stop. I don't know this fire that is burning from afar, but I want it to stop immediately. It must not get here.
Ikenna, you've not touched your food. Why can't you just let this man go and move on with your life? Ikenna.
I will fight back.
I forbid you. You are all I have. I lost your father and I will not stand and watch you kill yourself.
But one thing I don't understand is how you accord that man so much respect. He cannot kill me.
He has killed people greater than you. He has killed kings that had powers and charms. Ekpokote Ekwonu will kill anyone that crosses his path. He's evil. He will kill you. Forget about this man. I thought we agreed on this already.
Well, I thought we did. But there is no deal, mother. Can't you see? Is this life? How can I be alive and someone is taking what rightfully belongs to me and I cannot do anything? I am dying slowly of the realization that he took what rightfully belongs to me and I cannot do anything.
You are not dying. And you will not die anytime soon. You will live to achieve your full potentials as a man. Let this man be. Let him go and move on with your life. I believe that God will rise for his people. Son, come and eat your food. Move on with your life.
I thought you had something better to say.
So it is true. So it is true. You actually came to see me.
Were you expecting to see someone else?
The truth is that I was not expecting anybody at all.
I sent you a letter to notify you about my coming.
Yes. I got your very surprising letter, and I must have to tell you that in my wildest dream, I was not expecting anybody who is
a ruler over the people of Umupolo, to come before the deity king of Idu to pay homage.
The letter I sent you was for a meeting. A meeting between two men who rule as kings in two different kingdoms, separated by greed. There was no part of that letter that stated that I was coming to pay you homage. And let me clear misconception. I don't see you as a deity. You are an ordinary human being, and I will continue to relate with you as such.
In one very short sentence, why are you here?
I have come to make a very simple demand. That you give back Onuyi land to its original owners, the people of Umubo.
How dare you come before the deity king to insult yourself? Are you out of your mind?
I didn't insult you. Neither did I insult myself. I just made a fair request. Give back Onuyi land to its original owners. My people. It's our land and we want it back. And listen to me. I come in peace. I haven't come to make trouble. And that is why I haven't said anything about my father's death.
I can see you have some balls. That is why you will stand before the deity king of Idu to speak such nonsense. I will respond to you when I will respond to you. But right now, I want you to leave my palace. You said you are here in peace. I want you to equally live in peace. Leave now before I change my mind.
I wasn't expecting you. I hope all is well. You can sit.
No, Your Highness. We couldn't just sit back in our houses, knowing full well that having such a meeting with the deity king of Idu.
Oh, come on. It irritates me when elders in council refer to that scoundrel as a deity. He's a nobody. He's just an ordinary human being. But I tell you something. I will annihilate him before your very eyes.
No, Your Highness. If you knew what you had in mind, you would not have embarked on that journey in the first place.
I tell you something. This is war. And we are going to win this war without a fight.
Okay, can you tell us what happened back then?
You will have seen his face. He was very angry when I confronted him. I told him point blank that my reason for coming was to take back Onuyi. He stared at me in the face and was so disappointed. And he promised to get back to me.
Just like that?
Your Highness, he could mean to kill you.
He cannot. Because when a mortal oversteps the bounds set by his chi, he will be buried without a funeral.
His words could mean a lot of things, Your Highness.
Chiamaka, can you stand on the sacred totem of Omobolo to swear that you weren't the one who invited those elders to wait for me here?
And why should I swear? Yes, I was the one who invited them. And I did that because I was worried about my husband. Is that a crime?
Does it really mean you don't know the man you're married to?
I know you, sweetheart. I do. My husband, the king of Umobole. My husband who returned from Ireland and cannot boast of knowing the extent men can go in that part of the world to silence opposition. That my husband decided to pay the devil himself a visit. Now tell me, Why then should I sit, relax and do nothing?
Sometimes when you talk, I get so irritated. I feel as if you don't know what I am capable of doing.
I may not know all things, but the mere fact you went to confront that demon in human form, there's a troop of assassins coming our way.
And I assure you, by the time they get here, they will shoot themselves in the head. Ebokotekwan is yet to recover from the shock I gave him today. You can bet your money on that.
What exactly happened when you went to meet him?
When he saw me, he was surprised. He thought I came to pay him homage. Imagine the riffraff. I told him that my reason for coming was to take back Oniyi land. He promised to get back to me, and I am patiently waiting for him.
I don't get it. Does it mean the man is not really strong as they paint him to be?
It has become a rule in my world that anyone who insults me, who undermines me, must be invited into this place, summoned into this place to feel the wrath of an angry king. It is only a fool that will step on the tail of an angry tiger. Ibabushi. The fool who parades himself as the king of Umubolo. I summon you here this night. You have to come and explain why I will not kill you before your time. Ibabushi.
What? What, honey?
I heard my name.
What? Where?
Maybe it's a dream. I think it's a dream.
Are you sure it's not the voice of Ebukote?
Oh, Jamaka, stop. Don't mention that evil name here. Does it mean we can have a peaceful night rest without having him in our thoughts?
Well, I'm just saying, at this rate, we should expect anything.
Nothing. Nothing is going to happen. I am going to win this war without lifting a finger. Not when the universe is behind us.
But...
No buts. Let's go back to sleep.
Oh, I'm scared.
You shouldn't be. Sleep. Okay? Sleep.
I don't know why you are playing stubborn. It was in this room. Right in this room that I summoned your father with all his cabinet members. It was here that they signed the only land of the people. It was here that I killed your father, Ezibabushi Okeke the first, before he went to Umobolo and died a useless death. You must come here this night and you must explain why I will not kill you before this time. Ibabushi Okeke, I am the deity king who rules in Idu. Nobody has ever challenged me. Nobody has ever argued with me. I summon you here this night to come and explain why you are increasingly crossing my path. Who gave him the power? This part of the world is too small to share with anybody who is ambitious. Ibabushimo Keke, the fool, parading himself as the king of Ibu, for daring to resist my summon. I am going to prove to you that two masquerades can never dance in this way at the same time.
Someone is on the line for you.
Oh, I see. Hello? Who is this?
A child who derives pleasure passing through dangerous tracks will ultimately disappear from those tracks. Will you ever claim you don't know what that means?
I recognize this voice, you colorless chameleon. But I tell you something. The gap between the weak and the mighty is in the mind. But in reality, the weak can become mighty and the mighty weak in just a matter of seconds. Are you claiming you don't know this?
Ibabuchi, you are a riffraff. You are a riffraff to speak parables to a deity like me. How dare you? I mean, who are you to demand undoing land back from me? The same land already swallowed by the deity.
Listen to me, Epokote Kwano. I am not cut out for this charade. I am only interested in retrieving the land you took forcefully from my people. I don't want us to fight about this. But if you want to fight, I will fight you to a finish.
For opening your mouth and mentioning fight to a man like me. From now going forward, I want you to keep looking behind you, because I must come for you.
It might interest you to know that I am already on your case. Let this be a follow-up notice. Yesterday's visit was the first.
Piece by piece, I am going to end you. Security is the state of being free from harm or danger. And danger is the possibility of suffering harm or injury. Ibabuchi Okeke, I am going to make the whole of this country very insecure for you. The deity king of Idu will become your nightmare.
Listen to me. I am not cut out for these empty threats. Okay? I don't like cutting calls on people, but if you are done with your threats, cut your call and prepare for what is coming.
Threats are for dreamers. I fancy myself a realist. Ibabushinwo Keke, I am going to make you bleed. And I want you to go through history. Each time I make anybody to start bleeding, the person must bleed to death.
Is it threatening you?
Why are you always jittery? I mean, why are you afraid?
Honey, why is it so difficult for you to listen to reason? This man you are calling into an open war is the devil himself.
Listen to me, Chamaka. A man who is with his ancestors is already above the aberration called the devil. I will tear that idiot into smithereens. It's a promise. Get me something to eat. Pastor Paul, I am trying to figure out what my wife told you that prompted this unscheduled visit.
You are waging war against him to reclaim what was stolen from your father. If I may ask your highness, at what cost?
Costs? Is there something I'm not getting here?
I heard you are going the traditional way in this battle.
What do you mean by the traditional way?
I heard that you are now friends with the chief priest.
Do you expect us to be enemies?
No, your highness, but...
Oh, hold on, Pastor Paul. Allow me to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is his.
Your highness, what is your understanding about that passage in the scripture?
Pastor Paul, my understanding is my understanding. It might interest you to know that there was already in place a solemn traditional religion in Omobolo before the missionaries brought this thing they brought that you now believe in. I want to hold firmly to that old religion.
Why? Is Christianity no longer enough for you?
Far from that. I am simply a king, and I intend to rule the same way my forefathers ruled, holding tenaciously to the ancient religion.
You are deviating from the teachings of the church.
Pastor Paul, this is war. And I intend to fight this war and emerge from it triumphant.
Your Highness, if you will listen to me, leave that land. Move on with your life. You are already a rich king. You do not need that land.
Pastor Paul, this kind of preaching is not for a man like me. I intend to recover a land that was forcefully taken from my people. Is there anything wrong in that? That is what I want, and I must get it.
You could be killed in the process, Your Highness. That king has killed many people, and nothing is done about it.
Who cares? Allow that be my headache. I am going to fight that man to a standstill. I assure you, I am going to win.
My queen, I advise you pray for your husband.
I don't understand, Pastor.
I can't explain why a well-traveled man like him would choose a forgotten religion over the truth.
Pastor, that's exactly why I called you. My husband believes the truth lies in his ancestors.
Yes, he said something like that to me. And he is determined to see this to the end.
Pastor, honestly, I'm scared. My husband is going to get killed.
Pray for him. That is what you are going to do. And I'll do the same. Do you understand me? Let us pray for him. Go in and relax. God is on your side. Jamaka, you invited your pastor to see me without due protocol. Is that supposed to be an insult or what?
Sweetheart, I want you to pick up your phone and call your son and daughter. Start advising them fatherly. Because when you're gone, I don't want the whole burden to be on me.
And what exactly are you talking about?
Are you going to pretend like you do not know the reason for my anger?
Listen, you want me to forfeit a land, an ancestral land that belonged to my people? Simply because everyone is afraid of the current owner?
I want you to let go of that land. Because the current owner will kill you. I want you to stop this stupid fight of yours because it's not going to end well. And I also want you to end this ridiculous relationship you have with your chief priest. Ask me why. Because in this modern age and time, it will only make you look stupid.
Chamak, I have nothing against the Western religion. But as a learned man who has traversed the nooks and crannies of this world, I have come to the realization that there are certain aspects of our traditional religion which our forefathers practiced that ought to be upheld. I'm not being hypocritical here. No, not at all. It's called being wise and giving honor to whom honor is due. No matter where you go in life, a time will come when you will need the support of our ancestors. I'm only paying my respects so that when that time comes, I won't be left out in the cold.
Are you going to start going to the shrine and possibly making sacrifices to the deity of your ancestors?
My beautiful wife, you have to understand where I am coming from. A piece of land, a piece of ancestral land that legally should be ours, was forcefully taken from us by a usurper, a criminal. And you want me to let that go? It's not going to happen. Listen to me. It might interest you to know that diamonds and other precious stones have been found on that land. You want to let that go? We have investments, no doubt. Investments everywhere. But now we have a diamond vomiting land. Think about it. Countries have gone to war for less.
Sweetheart, all I'm saying, I do not want anything to happen to you. That's all. You are my life. Please.
I understand you perfectly, my queen. Nothing will happen to me. Okay? So quit this fretting and fidgeting. Nothing will happen. I will go for that land and I must get it.
I'm thinking about the future of this family.
How do you mean, mother?
Mr. Linus Okori has become a wreck since he buried his son. That child was his only child, you know.
That's quite unfortunate. But I don't see how that has got to do with this family.
You promised me that you would get married last February. And this is August. And you haven't said anything about it again.
Are you serious, Mother? Are you really serious? I'm still at the cost of fighting, trying to take what rightfully belongs to me, which a fellow man like me took away from me. And you're asking me to go get married? Or let's assume I get married. How do you think she would see me? A loser, a failure, a weakling. And she would continue to remind me every day of my life. Is that what you want?
So you want to put your life on hold because of an evil man who does not think of anyone else except himself? You are my only son. And only sons like you should marry early.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Let me state this to you loud and clear for the very last time. I am going to continue to fight until I take back what rightfully belongs to me. And afterwards, I will take a wife and give you grandchildren. Are we clear on this?
Your Highness, inasmuch as the land in question was previously registered as the property of Umobulu Kingdom, is now under the name of King of Idu.
Land officer, I understand exactly where you're coming from. But Eze Bukote Kwano used evil powers to take that land from my people. And I want it back.
Your Highness, we in the land office know the history. But the truth of the matter is, we don't want to be involved in anything that has to do with King of Idu. Your Highness, he's dangerous.
Listen to me, young man. I think it is pertinent for me to educate you a bit. Every human being is dangerous to a certain degree. Nobody has the monopoly for violence or nuisance. Not at all. He might be the legal owner of that land as we speak. But I tell you that he didn't pay a dime to my father. Are you trying to tell me that I cannot contest ownership? Is that what you're saying?
You can go ahead, Your Highness, but only inform us after you win.
I humble myself before the great deity that rules as king in the Idu kingdom.
What is it?
There is a visitor outside, my king. A woman, deaf and dumb. She came up with a description which means that she's here to see you.
Benson.
Yes, Your Highness.
I read the letter you dropped in the palace suggestion box. And I must say that I was very impressed. You struck a chord that really attracted me. You said something about education. Can you explain further?
Okay, Your Highness. I want to further my education in the Open University. I will still be working here. I just want to know if I can get any help from the palace, Your Highness.
Wow. That's very thoughtful of you. I mean, coming from a young man your age. I'm very impressed. You just got me where it mattered most. Huh? The palace secretary will be briefed, and I assure you, you will not only get help here. This palace will fund your education 100%.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you, Your Highness.
Kábíyèsí o, kádé pẹ́ lórí, kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀. Kábíyèsí, báàkọ̀, bá lè kú, ìpẹ̀ là ń gbà. In my place in Owo, where I come from, we are never tired of consoling a man who has lost his wife. So I console you, Kábíyèsí, on the loss of your wife.
The strong man of Owo, please. I didn't invite you all the way from Owo to come and sympathize with me on the loss of my wife. That page is already closed in my history. She is dead and she is forgotten. I'm sorry to say this. I called you here because I want you to guide me. I want to marry another wife. That idiot wife of mine was into the business of book-nosing into things that do not concern her. And she met her end as a result. Now I want another woman. I want you to help me find the one who will not have time to interfere in my private things. The wife who will concentrate on her duties as the queen of Idu.
Ẹyẹ mélòó tolongo wálé, tolongo ìkan dúdú oṣó, àrọ̀ tolongo òkan, ṣẹ̀rẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀ṣun, tolongo ṣóṣòṣò ṣùrùbalẹ̀ ṣó. Kábíyèsí, I sense two things from what you have said. First, you want to be transformed into a god so that people will fear you.
Exactly.
Two, you want to take another wife to replace the one you have ended.
Well, almost what I just told you now.
You will get another wife, Kábíyèsí, but that wife must be deaf and dumb.
Are you out of your mind? I mean, how can you say that? How do you expect a king of my class to file out with a queen who is deaf and dumb? And Kábíyèsí,
it is not me who wants it. It is the gods that have designed it. For you to become the powerful king and deity that you want to become, you need a woman that is deaf and dumb to open the doors for you to become that deity which you want to be. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, Kábíyèsí, she must be deaf and dumb.
Well, I think I understand where you are coming from, and I think I understand what you are saying. You want me to marry a classy woman, vibrant, good-looking woman who can be presented as a queen, and then I will use the powers I have to transform her into deaf and dumb.
Kábíyèsí, that is not what I have said. That woman must be deaf and dumb by nature. That is, even before you meet her, she should be deaf and dumb.
How can you say that? Deaf and dumb women, to the best of my knowledge, are not classy. I have never met a deaf and dumb woman who is beautiful. No. Even if when they are beautiful, you will still discover that something is wrong with their class.
To the best of my knowledge, deaf and dumb women in this part of the world are beggars. Is that what you want for a man of my class to be married to a beggar?
Kabiyesi, rárá. It is not me, oh. But Kabiyesi, the powers you have are able to find such a woman for you that is deaf and dumb. My advice is that when you find such a woman, Kabiyesi, marry her quickly, Neo. Marry her quickly. Because she's the only one who will open that door for you to go and become that deity that you want. Kabiyesi.
Deaf and a dumb woman.
Torí wípé a fi ọ́ jọba, ò ń ṣàwọn rẹ̀. Ṣé o fẹ́ ká fi ẹṣọ́ Ọlọ́run ni?
I need no soothsayer to tell me you are the one. Beautiful deaf and the dumb. The deaf and the dumb woman I've been looking for. I know you may not hear me, but I am convinced from the deepest part of my heart that the forces I am obedient to are the ones who brought you here today to assist me fulfill a very special purpose in my life. You will come with me now. You will come with me.
Good. Beautiful. In that case, you have become my wife. Okay. So, what is your name? Rebecca. She's closing her eyes. She's even child. Good. Okay. Should I take that as a yes to my proposal? Yeah. Come here. Come here. Hey.
were saying something.
Yeah, Your Highness. How can you say you met a woman yesterday and today you want to marry her?
Well, Ishiawafo, you are wrong when you say I want to marry her today. For I have already married her. That same yesterday I met her.
Your Highness, are you really serious, my king?
Eze Bokote Ekwono is not the kind of man that will say something when he is not sure.
Your Majesty, I mean, marrying a woman you just met is quite risky. Why don't you give out some time to enable us assess her, or even you, so that we will be able to...
Hey, shut up! What kind of useless language is that? When did you start advising me? Listen, I have not called you here to seek your opinion, for I have already made up my mind on this. Like I said, I am marrying the woman already. I just called us because I want both of you to accompany me to Obendeda to pay her bride price properly.
Your Highness, we will go with you. Yes. We will go with you. Have you chosen a date yet?
You're going today.
What?
From here now.
Your Highness.
Do you have a problem with that?
No. Do you have a problem with that? Okay.
Do you?
Good.
All right.
Wait for me outside. I will meet you shortly.
As you wish, Your Highness. Yes.
I have tried stopping him, but yet my husband is so determined to go into war with this devil.
Then you allow him do what he wants to do.
Excuse me, Carol, did I hear you well? Do you want me to lose my husband or what?
Men do not like it when their wives oppose them too much. You have already made your point, and he knows your stand on the matter. Dragging it for long will give him an impression about his wife. I don't want him to start seeing you in a bad light.
Well, he can only see me that way if he knows I'm actually looking out for him. That's it.
You're married to a king, not just a king who just became king from nowhere. Your father-in-law was a king, and his son got prepared for the throne. There is a way kings reason. Do not oppose him longer than you have done. It can go bad.
I have heard you, Carol, my lecturer. He's alright. He's alright then. I'll call you later.
This is indeed an important brief to all the palace workers. Standing here is a beautiful woman of Obendeda Kingdom, who is now wife to the king, and she is the queen of Idu. These two elders who accompanied me to Obendeda to pay her bride price can attest to the fact that we married her in line with the marriage laws of Obendeda people.
Your Highness, our queen, as the leader of the elders in council, I welcome you to this palace, where the ancient staff of Idu Kingdom rests. You're welcome, and your stay here will be glorious. Our queen.
There is something that you are missing that I need to clarify you.
What's it, Your Highness?
You followed me to Obendeda to pay the bride price of a woman that you did not even see. She is the one.
Yes.
The beautiful woman of Obendeda that I have married, who is now the queen. But she cannot hear you because she is deaf and dumb.
Your Highness, you said
I am certain you heard me.
that she cannot speak or even hear what we are saying. I not.
Do you have a problem with that?
No, I cannot have problem with that. I have not always have problem with your orders and
Good. I like that. You see, she is the beautiful woman of Obundida.
Yes.
And she is now the queen of Idu.
Yes.
And nothing can ever change that.
Yes.
Uzondo.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Please get something very nice for the elders to drink.
Yes, Your Majesty.
I will be back with you shortly. Let me take her back to the room.
He has married another wife. He has married another wife just like that. Hey!
Uncle, this is a great insult on our family. I know I have been keeping quiet, but this time around, I can't take this.
What do you want to do? Bash into the palace and confront him?
Take a gun to his head.
Yes, that is what he deserves.
You will do no such thing. Yes. What if he marries another wife and the woman is deaf and dumb? How?
What?
Yes. The woman the king replaced your sister with is deaf and dumb.
As in, she can neither speak nor hear. Why would he do that?
I don't know whether to feel extremely insulted on behalf of my sister or laugh.
You see, the king is evil. We do not understand why he decided to replace your sister with deaf and dumb. All I know, no matter how old the Iroko tree is, it must be cut down one day. Nothing lasts forever. One day he will surely die.
Cut down. Uncle, I think I like that phrase. Cut down.
Yes.
Because that is what I'm going to do to him. Cut him down. It will be very painful to my sister if that Iroko tree finally die on its own. He doesn't deserve a decent death.
Look, allow the gods to handle it. Do not move ahead of the gods.
Deaf and a dumb woman. I have married you already as instructed. And I have lost count of the number of times I have experienced the woman in you. What else? What else must I do to unlock what you represent? Deaf and dumb. The decorated balls of deadly masquerades. I cannot thank you enough. I never knew that a deaf and dumb woman could be this good, this sweet, and this priceless. I
I am hoping that you are not going to ask me to offer her for a sacrifice. Listen, the decorated balls of dreadful masquerades, I am prepared to offer all the women of Idu in place of this one. I want you to give me the opportunity to enjoy the woman in her for at least the next 5 years. I know you can do that for me. And for old time's sake, I am pleading with you. Is there a way you can assist me? Is there a way you can help me to unlock what she represents in my life? Do it for me, for old time's sake. The dreaded balls of deadly masquerades. Can you explain to me what is going on? I have just summoned the Babushiwo Keke, the fool who parades himself as the king of Umobulu, to come here and explain himself. Why is he not here?
You summoned the Babushi, and his chief is here. What do you want?
Hitchi? I have never summoned Hitchi. I have no business with Hitchi. I want to deal with Ibabushi Okeke, the second person. He has committed a whole lot of atrocities. And I want him to come here in person and explain himself why he must undermine the authority of a king as elevated as the deity king of Idu. What are you doing here in this main building of this palace at this time of the night?
Your Highness, I'm sorry, Your Highness. I heard someone scream. That's why I came out. You know it's my duty to protect the palace.
Protect which palace? Who told you you are the one that protects the palace? Didn't I warn you and all the people working in this palace that nobody must come to this main building once it is 10 p.m.? Didn't I warn you?
You did, Your Highness, but...
But nothing. For attempting to see what you are not even qualified to see. Your lousy soul will not amount to anything. Even your corpse will not be buried